Okay, I want to share today, just to break the ice a little bit, an amazing piece from the Maharal Prague. Okay, the Maharal Prague is set like this, called Sifrei Maharal, has some of the most amazing, deep insights into Torah, into Yiddishkeit, into practical growth. It's a little deep, so if you really want to learn it, you might need to have a chavusa to learn it with, just to really crack it. But it's the most unbelievable way of looking at Judaism. And I want to share with you a small piece. He has one of his volumes, there are many volumes, called the Sivos Olam, and there's different paths of the world. Different things that we engage with, we're always involved with, and he gives you the Chazals, the Gemaras, and the practical tips to how to learn about it. So for example, there's Nesiv HaNava, how to be humble, Yirat Hashem, Avat Rea, love other people, Nesiv HaLashon, the way to speak, Nesiv HaShtika, the way to be quiet, Tznius, Precious, all these things. I'd like to speak about over here, number 17, and that is the Nesiv Koach HaYetzer, the power of the Yetzer Hara. Now, I have to be honest, I never learned this before until yesterday when I wanted to prepare for this. And this blew my mind, just the way he sets it up, organized in a practical way with Divrei Chazal. So I'd like to share this with you. It wasn't for many chapters. I'm only a couple chapters in, but at least to share what I've learned already till now. So the pasuk says in Mishlei, in Perek Chafei Pasuk Chav Aleph and Pasuk Chav Beis, Im Ra'ev Sanacha, if your enemy is hungry, Ha'achileu lachem, you should feed him bread. V'im tzamei, and if your enemy is thirsty, Hashkeu mayim, give him water. Ki gachalim ata chosel rosho, because coals you're going to put on its head. V'Hashem yishalim lach, and Hashem is going to protect you. He's going to pay you back. He's going to give you reward. So the Maharal starts off by explaining that the simple explanation of this idea is a real physical enemy. Right? We think sometimes you have an enemy. What do you do if you have an enemy? You blow him up. Right? You have a friend, you have a roommate, a classmate, I don't know, somebody you don't get along with, a relative, right? We all have people in our lives that we're not 100% with, right? So what do? You ignore him, bully him, I don't know, do things that aren't nice to him, whatever it is, like he's my enemy, right? So the pasuk in Mishlei, Shlomo HaMelech is coming to teach me that that's not the way to do it. Instead, feed him. Actually be nice to him. If you go ahead and you start to have mercy on someone that's an enemy towards you, the Maharal explains, that's going to flip the other person around and he's going to start to like you. Meaning the Shlomo HaMelech in Mishlei was coming to teach us how to win friends. How do I go ahead and get new friends? How do I win over my enemies and flip them into friends? The way to do it is to actually give to them. Be nice to them. It might not be so easy. The person did something not nice to you, right? But the way to deal with them is not by ignoring or doing bad things. Instead, if you're merachim on them, it's going to bring the person over towards you. And you're going to feel good afterwards. It's like Hashem paid you back, gave you what you need. Simple explanation. I could tell you a story once. There was someone in Aish Torah that I felt did something wrong to me. And I didn't want to engage in arguments and things like that. So I stayed away from him. It's like, just do my thing, put my head down, stay in my lane, just let it go. Somehow I think this person got the feeling that I wasn't necessarily interested in engaging with him. And he invited me to a meeting. Now I'm sitting in front of this person. I had to go to meet with this person. So I ended up sitting with him, and in front of me, he started to talk to me and explain to me, why he did what he did, etc. Once I was in front of him, and he was actually talking to me in a nice way, it was very hard for me to hold my my position and be upset at him. It was just very hard for me. We're sitting in front of him, he's talking to me in a nice way, he seems to have good ideas. I disagreed with him, but he showed his rachmanas, he showed his mercy, he showed me that he cares about me, and he's not upset at me. And all of a sudden, my lave, I turned around. I saw it. I saw that as one of the most amazing ways to try to deal with people. It's not to fight against, but actually try to bring them close. When you bring someone close, you're able to go ahead and flip them around to be even closer to you. So that's the first simple explanation of this amazing advice that Shlomo HaMelech gives in Mishlei. But the Gemara in Sukkah on Daf Nun Beis Amud Aleph, quoted by the Maral over here, says that this isn't really talking about human beings and it's not talking about physical enemies. Rather, this enemy that's hungry and Shlomo HaMelech is telling us to feed him is referring to the Yetzer Hara, our evil inclination. The Yetzer Hara is hungry, you're supposed to feed it. Thirsty, give him to drink. And by doing so, you're going to nail the Yetzer Hara, and Hashem is going to give us reward. What is this talking about? So the Maral says, a lot of times guys have told me in the past, Rabbi, you don't get it, I have a big Yetzer Hara. That's a very vague statement. It means nothing, okay? That's just adding more vagueness into something totally vague. Right? There's this thing called Yetzer Hara. You don't know what it is, where it is, how it is, who it is, and everyone has different definitions, etc. And you just feed into that, not really knowing what's going on. So Maral actually gives an extremely simple definition of what the Yetzer Hara is, and when we understand it, you're able to take it over actually with quite ease, believe it or not. Okay? He says as follows. He says the definition of the Yetzer Hara is the goal to create lack. When you're lacking something, when you need something, that is the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara wants us to feel like there's something that we're missing, that we're lacking, and he's going to fill that lack with bad things. So it's very, very simple. Don't worry, we all lack things that are good also, so we'll explain that in a moment, okay? But the idea of the Yetzer Hara is that we're craving something. We're lacking something. So for example, he highlights this with the Gemara in Sukkah on the other page, on the other side of the page of Nun Beis Amud Beis, that the Gemara says that there are 7 names to the Yetzer Hara. The Gemara lists what those are. Actually, if you pay attention to each one, there's a lesson in that of itself. But there are 7 names to the Yetzer Hara. What's the significance of the number 7? Why couldn't there be 8 names or 10 names? What's 7? So the Maral says that in Hebrew, what's the number 7? Sheva. The letters Sheva, Shin, Bet, Ayin are the same letters for Soveya, to feel satiated. I'm full. V'achalta, v'savata, right? Uveirachta. If you go ahead and you eat and then you're satiated, you're full, that's Svia. Svia means to be full. The idea of the Yetzer Hara is to give us something that we're lacking, then to fill it in, to make us feel like we're full. And therefore, the names of the Yetzer Hara have those letters of making us full. Sheva, Svia, it's the same exact letters, the same exact word. That is his goal. So what happens over here? I have a lack. Okay, I'm missing something. Let's give an example. Okay, I'm lacking. I feel like I need an older bacher in Yeshiva that I could look up to, that he's going to inspire me. Okay, I'm lacking that guy. Okay, making this up now, right? Let's say that's what I have. So now I have this lack. I have this need, right? So what happens if I go ahead and I fill the need, right, with bad things? Okay, let's say I'm hungry even. Okay, I'm hungry, so I have this need. So the Yetzer Hara made me hungry. So now I'm hungry and I need to fill it. So if I go ahead and I fill my need with complaints, negativity, hurtful criticisms, right, speaking Lashon Hara, so I start, right, that's what I'm going to fill my need. I'm going to start going ahead and speaking bad about things, and I feel a little better, right? I'm filling my need. So first of all, as everyone knows, when you go ahead and you fill your needs with bad things, okay, a person has some need to watch something, whatever it is, and they fill that need with bad things, the need doesn't get full. You're not complete. You think you're becoming full. You think you're becoming soveya, but you just want more and more and more and more. You just get hungrier, right? The need just comes greater and greater and greater. That's the Yetzer Hara at its best. So if my response to my need is something bad, like speaking badly, being a negative person, then that is a bad way of filling the need. If my way of filling my need, I'm hungry, right? So I'm going to eat. But why am I going to eat? I'm going to eat because I want to be healthy. So that's a positive way, something good, that I want to fill my need. If I want to have, I want to get married because I want to build a home and give to someone and to be able to become a complete person, all the good reasons of getting married, so that's a great thing, right? If I just want to get married because I have some other need and a physical need or whatever, that's the only reason I want to get married, that's a bad thing. So we have these needs, and the question is, what's my response to those needs? Is my response a positive thing to fill the need, or is it just negative, complaining, bad things that only make the need even greater? And that's the fill. That is the Yetzer. That's how you know when you're filling your craving, you're filling your need with the response. Depending on what that response is going to be, that's going to know if the need was something that allowed me to become a better and bigger person or bring me down like the Yetzer wants to do it. Okay. So how do you fight this? So the first thing that we have to be aware of is what the Yetzer is. It's a lack. When I'm lacking something, I need to know right now that this might be my Yetzer Hara coming to try to get me to fill it. That's the first thing that I need to know. I have to be aware of what the Yetzer Hara is. It's a need. It's a lack. Okay. How do you go ahead and change and fight that? So the easiest way, this is step number one, is you fight the lack. Okay, forget about filling the lack now for a second. You fight the lack. Meaning, I have a need, I have a lack. No, I don't. What do you mean I do? Don't tell me I don't. I do. I need something, right? So let's get that example that I started off with beforehand. Let's say I have this need. I need to have an older student that I can look up to, and I can't find that person. I can't find that person to inspire me. Okay? So we could say it's true that I don't have that, right? But I have something else that's good. I'm missing that. But let's leave that aside for a second. Let it not overwhelm me. Let this not become the problem that I have to deal with. I have a lot of other good things. I don't have the older student, but I have a Rabbi that I could build a relationship with. Or I have a smaller, I have 3 Rabbeim that I could go ahead and pick many of ones that I try to that I feel relate to me or that understand me and get me, etc. There's other good things that I have, right? When you focus on all those good things, the power of that lack and that need goes away. So the first step is to change my attitude. Okay, I have this lack, I have this need. The Yetzer says, great, I'm going to create that in the person, and now he's going to become this negative individual. He's going to go ahead and complaining. He's going to go ahead and speak Lashon Hara about this and that, whatever it is, and he's just going to get all energized and going, and and he's not going to feel good at the end anyway. But that's the Yetzer Hara. He wants you to pull you down as much as possible, right? The way to do this is, yes, there is something missing. There's something missing, but let me look at all the other things that I have good. Let me make a list of all of these good things, and then you're like, whoa, look at the positive versus that one little lack that I had. Goodbye, lack. See you later. You destroyed the Yetzer Hara. That's direction number one. Direction number two to destroy the lack is by going ahead and looking within the lack and seeing something positive there. What am I talking about? So I'll give this example again. I'm missing this older role model that I needed, this older student. Okay, but because of that, I need to step up and start driving things. I need to make things happen. I don't have that person that is getting me up in the morning. Okay, then I got to get up on my own. I don't have the incentive. Or I don't have that external push. Okay, so now I got to do it on myself. The fact that I'm able to do it by myself, that is so worthwhile. That is so chashuv because that's going to be what's going to build me for the future anyway. So you're right, I don't have the right friend system or whatever it is to get me inspired in the morning, to get up early, to learn before davening, to do whatever it is. I don't have that, let's say. But if I could figure out how to do this on my own, I'm going to grow even more than if I were to have that. Meaning, I have a lack, it's true, and the Yetzer is going to try to get me now and say, oh, you don't have that, so it's terrible, and then you got to figure this, I don't know. And all of a sudden, you get sucked into that need and that lack, and you're overwhelmed, don't know what to do with yourself. Or you can look at the lack and say, in this lack, is there anything positive that could come out of this? And they say, wait a minute, yeah, there is something positive come out of this. And maybe that positivity can actually take me to a whole new place. And because of that, lack, you're out. I don't need you. Who cares about you? You're done. Okay? So there are 2 ways to fight the lack. One keep it there, but look at many other good things that are there, and then I'm not bothered by that lack. Possibility number one. Possibility number two is I look at the lack and I say, you're right, this isn't good, there's a problem here, and therefore I need something. But you know what, the fact that I need that, but it's pushing me in a different way, that there's something positive over here, and with that positive thing, I could actually grow in a whole different way. And that allows me to go ahead and move forward and ignore the lack. That is number one, take care of the lack. But then the Maharal comes along and he quotes a different Gemara, that the Gemara says, in Avodah Zarah, Daf Hemad Beis, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Ashrei Yisrael, Bizman shehem oskim b'Torah gumilas chasadim, Yitzran masur biadan. Praiseworthy is Bnei Yisrael when they're osek in Torah and chesed. The Yetzer Hara is literally in their hands. Meaning, you could have the lack, but you could conquer the Yetzer Hara. Not just put it down and look elsewhere. You could literally conquer it and take it on. How do you do that? Torah and Gemilas Chasadim. How is that? So he explains as follows. I have a lack. I have a need. There's like this void in my brain. Okay? There's something that I'm interested in. There's something that I'm looking for. There's something that I'm thinking about. There's a void. So I could fill it with things that aren't good for me, or things that are going to bring me down, or things in my head that are going to be thoughts that are going to occupy me and ruin me. That's the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara is saying, you have like a void in your head, you have some intellectual need or whatever it is, I'm going to fill it with things that aren't good. But if I could go ahead and pull it into the Beis Medrash, like a different Gemara says, and start learning Torah, and adding into my brain set, my whole mindset, my whole way of thinking, Kedusha, and new values, that's important to be honest, it's important to be good to people, it's important to care about people, that putting people down is a terrible thing. I learn how to be a better person through learning the Torah, so now I have filled the lack, and this is what he says the pasuk is coming to say, fill that starving, that enemy, that is hungry, that is thirsty, fill it. Give him the lechem, give him the food. Rashi says it refers to the milchama of Torah. Give it to him. Give him the thirst, give him the water of Torah. Fill it. You have this void and you go ahead and you fill it with Torah. You make yourself a better person. You fill your mindset in the ways that you think. You're not going to have that need anymore of other things because you filled it with good. There's an empty kli. There's something there. You could fill it. But just fill it with the good things, not fill it with the things that the Yetzer Hara is hoping to be sovea and allow you to feel satiated from. That's one. But then there's another type of a craving. There's another type of a need, and that is my physical self. My physical self is not always running to the best things. I have desires. Every human being has such a thing. So what do? He says, Gemilas Chasadim. When I go ahead and I fill that physical need by going ahead and giving to people. You visit the sick person, you call someone up, ask them how they're doing, you take someone out that wasn't invited out, you go ahead and you do nicham avelim, you just go shopping for someone that's not able, the people in the Rova, some elderly people here, it's very hard to get in and out of the Rova, there's a lot of steps, very complicated. You go shopping for an elderly couple, you just bring them their stuff, right? You're getting your body immersed in this chesed, and your body is now not voided. You're actually wiped out. You're pretty tired. You had a lot of energy, you had a lot of need, and then all of a sudden, you fill it with good things. And as the Chafetz Chaim says, sometimes people feel like you could write a check, and that's called chesed. It's stuck, and it is. Okay, don't think it's not. But he says you can't compare, says the Chafetz Chaim, you don't fulfill your obligation of chesed if you don't get your body involved. You can't just delegate chesed. You got to get down and dirty and to be involved with chesed. Your whole body has to get involved with the chesed. When you do that, your body, your nefesh, as the Maharal calls it over here, actually becomes better. By me going ahead and doing good, performing good, getting involved, getting down on the ground and helping people out, it transforms my body. All those needs that I had that was pulling me somewhere else, I now get to go ahead and get to fill it with physical good. And the more I do that, the more I'm able to push out. Again, I filled my Yetzer Hara. What's the Yetzer Hara? The need. I filled my need. I filled it, but filled it with good things. Okay, so there's filling with my head, where my thoughts are, what I'm thinking about, what I'm learning about. I submerge myself in Gemara, in Torah, in Chumash, in Musar, in Halacha. I'm thinking about these things. What am I thinking about now? I'm thinking about how can I be a better person. I go down to lunch. Right? And what am I thinking about? How can I act with derech eretz down at the lunchroom? There are a lot of people that are very hungry. And that's our pasuk here. They're hungry. They have a need. They have a need. So what am I going to do if, God forbid, someone without noticing cut me online? How am I going to react to that? I have a need. I got to get my food. I got to get it, right? Or I have to run somewhere. I don't have a lot of time. How am I going to fill that need? But if I'm operating with, I'm supposed to be a good person. I'm supposed to care about people. I'm supposed to be patient. I'm supposed to be able to use gevura and hold myself back, even when I have this thing, right? Then all of a sudden, things don't bother me. Things don't bother me. You could be in a very strong relationship, very, very close to someone, and someone wrongs you. It doesn't bother you as much. It's okay, because I know how to respond to people. I know how I'm supposed to act towards other people. That's something on my head. It's in my head, my whole mindset, my whole value system is wired that way because of the Torah that I was able to fill into myself. So all of those needs are able to be governed by the Torah because I'm full. I filled my needs with the Torah values. And the physical things, when I go ahead and I get involved and I'm doing the chesed, etc., I filled my needs. Okay, so this is something that's important for us to realize. We basically mentioned, to sum it up, 3 things. We defined our Yetzer Hara. It's a crave, it's a need. The Yetzer Hara hopes to, he has 7, which is the same word as svia, to fill the need with things that are bad. He wants us to go ahead and say Lashon Hara. He wants to be critical. He wants us to be negative. He wants us to go ahead, put people down, etc. That's going to fill my need. It doesn't do that. It just makes our need to get bigger and bigger and bigger. That's exactly what the Yetzer Hara wants. That's the definition. Then we spoke about how to go ahead and take care of that need. One is to leave it on the side, but focus on all the good, or see that within the bad, that need, there's even good in that. That's one thing. The second thing is to actually fill the need with 2 types of things. One is the intellectual, spiritual experience of learning Torah, defining our values, allowing ourselves to become more patient, more understanding, more kind, become better and better, bigger, better people. And 2, get our physical body involved with chesed, giving to people, involved with people. That itself impacts us and allows ourselves to become bigger and better people. It makes us good. And then all of a sudden, the Yetzer Hara, the craving, the need is full. And if it's full, we're not going to need it for anything else. So Bezrat Hashem, we should all be zocheh to fill our Yetzer Hara with all the good things that we have ought to be and be able to continue to grow. Okay, Shekaya.